Ugh. Muck Boot unboxing today. Muck Boot sent us this boot. It's a pretty unique concept. You know, obviously I haven't seen it yet, but it's their Alpha Pursuit. You know, Muck Boot, if you don't know, because I didn't know, honestly, until we cut this boot in half. And I'm from a rural community. I was raised in irrigation boots, the big rubber boots to move sprinkler pipes and work on the farm. And so I just always assumed that Muck Boot was just another like rubber boot company. I never had a pair of nice Muck boots ever in my life until we cut some in half. And I was like, oh, that's why people love Muck boots so much. And around the same time as when we were doing the ski joring event, me and my cousins have a team for ski joring. And when we were up there, it was snowing and it was miserable. I was surprised because we were in Heber City. I think it was Heber. It's one of these little country towns. A lot of the dudes were wearing these because, you know, it's a lot of the country boys that are doing that ski joring thing. It's a lot of guys that are actually working in these. You know, people that are working in these for a living, use them for the farm, use them for horses. And I was like, that makes sense. I get why people love them. You know, like you look at the inside, it's literally not anything close to a rubber boot. You got a pretty traditional like foam-based boot construction with the outsole, lots of foam in the midsole, that lasting material. And then what makes it different is they use a lot of materials not from the boot world and the heavy duty leather boot world. They use it from more of like the water world, not the amazing movie water world, but the neoprene, the different materials that are used in scuba suits. I don't know, I'm raised in Utah, I don't know anything about the water. It's from that side of things. And so it's a cool way of looking at boots because instead of coming from this direction, from like leather goods and heritage and like slowly evolving it from that direction, Muck Boot comes from more like literal muck boots, like irrigation boots, farm boots, and now I've started moving towards the center of regular boots. And so because of that, their DNA is completely different from any other boot company. And so they end up making really, really unique boots because they're some of the only people that can, because they've, you know, there's so few boots like this compared to so many boots that are more leather or even just your traditional or your regular like cheap boots. And so when I heard they had some hunting boots and they're working on and some new concepts they're coming out with, I was pretty intrigued. This is something that I've wanted for over 10 years, never gotten it, even though we cut thousands and thousands of dollars of footwear in half every single week and month. There's this one item that's in the heritage world that I've never gotten, and it's this wax canvas jacket made by Flint & Tinder, sold through Huckberry, and this to me is like one of my holy grail of like coats. But the cool thing about a wax canvas coat is that wax that is infused into the canvas makes it water resistant, wind resistant, keeps it a little bit warmer, and this canvas is wax on both sides, the inside and the outside. It also has this really warm blanket lining. It's kind of like almost like a flannel lining on the inside for extra warmth, and it's handcrafted here in the United States. And maybe the coolest thing is this exact jacket was seen in HBO's The Last of Us. And that's a good example of like what this jacket actually is. It's no different than heritage boots that are super durable, super comfortable, really hard to break in, but made out of old school materials. Same thing with this coat. What this coat really is a heritage alternative to like your Arc'teryx water resistant, wind resistant, insulated jacket that just falls apart. You catch it on one sharp little thing, your whole jacket's ruined. That's where this shines, because this is like a heavy duty heritage. I'm not getting cold chills talking about it. It takes more maintenance, takes more break in, but there's certain features you can only get in this kind of coat. And that's why I've wanted it for over 10 years, and I'm finally glad I have it. Getting cold chills, I'm so hyped about it. Let's put it on. Yes, look at it. And it actually fits. I've got 6'6" wingspan, 6'4" XL, fits me perfect. So check it out below. Get yourself your holy grail jacket like me by Flint & Tinder from huckberry.com, and thanks again to Huckberry for sponsoring this video. So, I think that's it. I think it's the basic information. Do a little size, because I got a 10 and a half in men's, but whatever, we'll do sizing, we'll do all the other stuff, go over the information. So what is this men's Alpha Pursuit ankle boot? It retails for $185. And they say, featuring Realtree APX camo, the new Alpha Pursuit boot is built for high endurance pursuit and all-terrain adventure. 100% waterproof, 100% muck proof. The lace-up construction provides a tailored fit, and muck skin overlays give additional protection without adding unnecessary weight. The notched heel, I'll show you the notched heel collar. Eliminates Achilles fatigue, and rubber heel reinforced keeps your feet always protected. This boot has midsole. Little typo there. This boot has midsole made from, maybe it's, I don't know, it sounds like a typo to me. This boot has a midsole made of BioLite, a top-level lightweight foam, as well as an aggressive rubber outsole for better traction and debris dispersion. Okay, pretty cool. And I've got some hunts coming up, so that's why I'm doing this unboxing now, because I'm actually gonna wear these on the hunt and see how this concept of boot, it's more of like a irrigation, neoprene, completely different side of the boot world actually performs in the real world. So this is just the unboxing. So let's unbox it, because we're doing an unboxing. What knife today? Tried and true Kershaw from Blade HQ. This is one of their exclusives. And my nephews are up here, Hudson and Nolan, for their birthday. It's their 12th birthday, so they wanted to come up and hang out with their uncles. And so we took them around and did a bunch of fun stuff. And I was like, check out these knives, bro. And I was like showing them, and they were like, oh my gosh, that's gonna hurt am I gonna chop my finger off? And I was like, no, just try it. And they're like all nervous about it, you know, and it flips open so hard and so fast. Cause like, if you watch this spin, I'm just putting enough pressure between 2 fingers to push the button. Watch how much it moves. You know, oh, I almost stuck into my drifters. That was a close call. And so they were terrified. It was really funny. And I couldn't even hardly get them to do this one, this other Kershaw Blade HQ exclusive. So I love this little knife. We'll see if I can actually hold on to it this time. Yeah, just so much torque in there. That's why I like it. Fun. So let's do it. Wow. Oh yeah. Interesting. They have like a very like big look to them. They're like very substantial, because these are 10.5. I'm a 10 on the Brannock. And shoe companies like this, compared to like the really heritage stuff, are usually a lot closer to your shoe sizing, because I wear 10.5 in sneakers. I'm a 10 on the Brannock. So we'll see how these actually compare. For all that lies ahead. All right, so what do we have here? Let's look at the tag. The original Muck Boot Company, 100% waterproof, muck skin flexible neoprene with abrasion resistant rubber coating. So what they mean by that, I'm assuming, is this whole upper is neoprene. It's a single piece of neoprene that wraps all the way around the toe. So that's a cool thing about neoprene too. It's like, is it gonna be anywhere near as durable as leather? No, not as far as I know. You know, I've never really run one far enough to know, but that's my initial guess, is neoprene's not gonna last nearly as long as the really thick leather. So they put rubber over top of it. You know, this really thin, it's almost like the TPU overlays you see in the sneaker world, but a rubber overlay gives you that protection, gives you that extra waterproofness, but more importantly, it's gonna prevent that, like rocks and stuff, from abrading through that neoprene. And the value of a Wholecut is that you don't have any weird pinch points, and because it's neoprene, you don't have to spend so much money in manufacturing and cutting and trying to find the right hides to cut a Wholecut piece out of. You just manufacture Wholecut pieces. And so I'm curious to see how that feels on the trail. And you can see they do have some reinforcements here, it looks like. I'm assuming that's because neoprene does stretch. You know, look at, you know, that's still, it doesn't stretch a ton, but it's still a lot more than leather. And so over some of these important parts, it looks like they reinforced it with some like nylon strapping or something. And then over here at the ankle, where you need lots of flexibility, they've kept that overlay off. But the coolest thing that you know, I've seen a few boots, but I don't know, I just never really, I guess we haven't really reviewed one that really emphasizes this, but see how this cuts out at your Achilles? So you get the boot to lace up higher up your ankle, but you don't have all that stuff hitting the back of your leg when you're walking. So I'm curious also to see, is that ruin any of the water protection? Does that ruin any of the debris resistance or whatever? But I like it, because I'm curious how it feels, because I've worn shoes and some other stuff that has a similar thing. What was it? I think it was like Hoka's. It's one of the hiking boots that had like it wasn't all the way like open. It had a little rubber, or not rubber. It was like a stretchy strap. What do they call that stuff? Like stretchy material, goring. You know, like the goring. It was like goring. That's what goring back there, and it felt really cool. And so this is wide open. So I'm curious to see how that actually works. What else do we have going on here? It looks like the midsole's wrapped in like a fabric, which is really interesting. Maybe, I doubt it has any real, it does make it a little more abrasion resistant, but it's not like it's that big of a deal to beat up your midsole. And then that big chunky outsole. And this has that like felted texture on the bottom. So I don't know if that's, I doubt it's an import skirting thing like they do with the Converse. Actually, let's see if I have any left on my Converse I'm wearing today. Yeah, you can see, well, top down camera, you can see. I doubt it's for that reason. I think this would be a lot harder to pass as a slipper. So I'm wondering if that's something to do with like the, get some extra grip. I don't really know. Let's see if it says anything. I kind of got distracted. I was kind of reading this tag and then went off on a tangent. 3mm neoprene booty, lace-up construction for tailored fit. I read most of this. Bio de-wicks dry footbed insert top cover with NZYM for odor control, moisture management. Let's pull that out and see what that looks like. Yeah, same, basically the same as the Muck Boot. Oh, it is the same. The one we cut apart, just different colors. And so this is a pretty smart outsole or insole too, because obviously you've got the holes in there for breathability, but this is a functional based design because they have all these ridges in here to, if you do have any standing water in there, the water will sit in these grooves rather than sitting in your, like on your foot and sitting as standing water in your boot. And it's pretty soft insole. You got that open cell foam with that more closed cell foam underneath. So it's still an insole at the end of the day, but it is a nice one. It's pretty standard on the inside. You can see there's some reinforcement here on the inside where the lace stays are. Cool, I like that. It's a completely new concept that I've never worn. So let's try it on and see how they fit, what they feel like, what the sizing should be for my personal recommendations. I also like the pop of orange. You know, obviously they're hunting boots and so it's pretty synonymous with hunting, but I do like the look of it. So let's try them on. What am I wearing? Wearing my Huckberry linen shorts and some Chuck Taylors. It's been hot the last few days, so I always default to the Chucks. Okay, moment of truth. 10 on the Brannock, 10.5 in the Muck Boots. Ooh, I might have got it right. First try. So that is one thing about that cutout is you're never going to be able to cinch down that upper amazingly. So you're sacrificing some of the protection from the elements for flexibility. And obviously I have dainty little ankles, so keep that in mind. But you see what I mean? Is there going to be a lot of stuff that sneaks in there? Hopefully not, because you'll probably be wearing some boots or some longer pants to prevent that. But it does prevent a lot of that extra like pressure on the back of your heel. Because back here it feels like I'm wearing sneakers. Up here it feels like a boot. So it does work. As for sizing, I think I'm pretty spot on. I might have, it's hard to tell unless you're hiking in them. That's a pretty solid toe too. It's not like a, is it a composite toe? That's a pretty tough toe. Yeah, I can bend it. Pretty tough. But yeah, I'd probably go, if I was wearing really woolly socks, really big socks, I'd go up one full size for my Brannock. If I'm just doing light hikes, light socks, I think I'd be okay with the 10.5, so half a size up from Brannock. So, pretty cool concept, not bad for Muck Boot, like really innovating, because they could just sit back and make the same boots over and over and over, but they're breaking into new territories, trying new concepts, and taking that DNA that I was talking about from the Muck Boot world and infusing it over here towards the boot world and the hiking boot, the hunting boot world, to make something truly unique and different. And they feel that different. They feel completely different. They, like you, I don't even know how to describe it. Like they feel a lot more like a sneaker because you don't have any leather, which first of all, it's like, you know, I love leather. So it's like not having any leather is always hard for me. But that's the point of this boot is like the leather doesn't give you that bunching, doesn't give you that binding. So you already out of the box have like way less pressure points. Cause just look at how, like when I bend that, there's little wrinkles, but they're soft because it's neoprene. And so it's like kind of like pre-broken in boot. What a cool concept. So if you want me to cut these in half, let me know, because you know we get a lot of these boots in for unboxings, and then we just kind of choose whichever ones I think are going to be interesting to cut in half, whichever one I think is going to be a cool story or a cool angle on the boot or shoe world that we haven't gone through. So if you want to see these cut in half, give us a like, a subscribe, and support this video. Go watch our main channel video of the other Muck Boot if you want some more information on how their other like half Muck Boot, half regular boots are constructed. And oh yeah, and I'll take these on a couple days on the hunt and see how they perform, so I can at least have some informed information if we do cut them in half. So let me know what you guys think, and thanks for all your support with this channel, the main channel, our handmade leather goods we make right here in the shop, and our collaborations with the Drifter 3s coming out in the blood core leather. It's gonna be so sick. So stay tuned for that, and thank you guys. See ya.